Welcome everybody to our show. This is Custom Fab Garage on our channel Octane TV on YouTube. Make sure you go down below and hit that subscribe button, and on top of that, make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you can get all the new content that comes out weekly and even every day.
We're going to be doing this 2018 Chrysler 300. Going to be doing a new head unit, changing out some amplifiers that we'd already previously put into this, and doing some sound dampening. So we're going to show you how to do all that in this video. This is kind of a little bit of before. This is basically what the factory radio looks like. That way you can kind of get a feel of what it looks like before we install this new Kenwood and Scosche kit. So from the factory, this thing looks really nice at the Uconnect screen. It looks really, really good. And this is the Uconnect screen before. And there's the HVAC controls. This is the kit we're going to be using. It's made by Scosche. It's an ITCCR01B. And this is made for the 2015 up Chrysler with the integrated touchscreen controls. So we'll show you how to install this today. First up, we're going to do is take our panel pry tool and we're going to start removing this piece. We're going to get our panel pry tool behind here and then pop this piece out. So we've pried this out, and there's kind of the clips. And then you're going to want to unplug this one plug right here. Next step we're going to do is we're going to basically unclip this just the same way we did as the other one. You do want to save, basically in the instructions it says you want to save these orange clips on this, and you want to save the orange clips on this because you're going to have to relocate those onto the new Scosche kit. So make sure you keep those orange clips, don't lose those. So we're going to start prying this with our plastic pry tool all the way around to pop this out. Okay, we have this all unclipped. As you can see right here, we have a plug that we need to unplug, and like I said, you want to keep all the pieces that go around here, these clips, because you're going to have to, oh, he's already missing one right there. That sucks. So we're going to figure out something for that, because I guess we have to relocate these to the other kit. So unplug that and you can remove this whole piece. Next step, we're going to remove all these screws that are up here. It looks like he's already missing one. So a lot of people's worked on this car. That's the only thing that kind of sucks. So we're kind of coming in behind other people. All right, we've removed all the screws from this, and then you're gonna have to unplug all these things in the back of this. This is basically I would call it the main display control unit. So all these are like your USB retention, all your antennas, and then your main power plug. Here is all the plugs taken out. So this one you're gonna kind of push in and then just pull up. It's like a BMW clip and it will come out. USB extension, all the antennas that this thing has. I have no idea why in the world this thing has 4 antennas. So I have no idea why that is. I'm guessing one, which usually XM is tan. So I'm guessing one of these is for nav, which I'm guessing is the blue, which is usually nav. white, I'm guessing, is the actual radio antenna, but these purple and pink, I'm not sure what those are for, so we'll have to figure all that out. Now I'm going to skip a little bit of steps since we have everything removed from here. I'm going to kind of go into, instead of going and showing you how to relocate all this stuff, I am going to show you some stuff that you're going to have to do. And this is where it makes this a difficult install, in my opinion, is none of this stuff, this was easy, right? But you actually have to cut all of this completely out. Everything where my finger is going, all the way over to the other side, all the way around this clip, all the way around here. You will 100% have to cut all that out to fit the double dent into here. And if you don't, you're gonna have problems with fitment issues and things like that. So when you have to start cutting dashes, that's where, to me, it becomes a little more difficult for an average installer or basic installer. This is something you could, you know, potentially cut through harnesses. You wanna be super, super careful about what is behind here, so you don't cut through these harnesses, you don't cut through anything you don't want to lose. So definitely be careful when you're doing this. You want to just cut it all around here, and it's going to show you in the instructions when you buy this actual dash kit to where you want to cut, but just remember that. I'll take some pictures and show you before and after. And this is legitimately how much you have to cut out. And I'm not kidding with you, this is a pain in the ass because of how thick and how far back this goes. So get your hard hat on, and definitely you're gonna throw plastic up all over the car. I used a diamond cut Dremel bit that stuck out about this far and still had problems getting clear all the way back to here and cutting all this out. I mean, it was struggling because this cast plastic is so thick. So this is definitely the hardest part of the install so far, so I'll show you what it looks like after I cut all this out, but that's how thick this thing is. Okay, here's the aftermath. Cut all this out. I tried to cut a little bigger than what it said just to be safe. Definitely not my best cutting abilities. I still need to clean this all out, but this is my only part I'm a little worried about, is up here. I cut it as big as it shows, but over here I'm a little higher than I am over here. I might want to cut and trim that out just a little bit more, because I'll tell you, like when I did the CTSVs and other cars, it tells you to cut out a certain amount. If you're off by a millimeter, it starts making everything not sitting there correctly, and then you start having fitment issues. Then you have to take it all back out and cut it again. So I'd rather just cut it a little bigger. So I'll probably just trim this up and trim this up a little more, but big difference. Okay, these are all the parts that we're going to be using. This is the new dash piece here. It's got a plug on the back of it. We're probably going to have to relocate things over to this, including the vents and the clock. This is the pocket that's going to probably go right here. Here's some kind of bracket. I'm not sure what that goes to. I'll tell you when I read the instructions. 2 side brackets to the double den piece that goes at the bottom, and then the new wiring harness. So those are all the pieces that we have that came out of the box. So we'll kind of show you how everything all goes together. So on this piece here, we're going to take off these 4 orange clips. This piece here, we're going to remove the vents on each side and the clock. So basically we're going to take out those 3, and then we're going to unclip and remove these vents, and then we're going to take all that and everything, this, and this, and we're going to put it into here. We're also going to put that cubby right into here as well. So that's pretty much how everything's going to go. We're also going to have to take the clips off the back of this because they also have to be reused from this to this. All right, so we've got everything switched over, and here's the paint. It's definitely not the greatest paint I've ever seen. I mean, this is Scosche version of paint right here. That's not very good, considering that this is the stock paint, which is really, his vehicle is really nasty, but at least it looks 100 times better. It doesn't look like dry spray. I don't know who they had paint this, but geez Louise, almost looks like vinyl. But oh well, customer brought this into us. We're just going to do what he asked us to do. And these are 4mm for all three of these.
All right, we finally got everything switched over. This will only go in one way. If you flip it upside down, you'll have a gap at the bottom. So make sure you put that in right. Look at the front. We have this mounted in. These are a pain in the butt to get back in because there's two little slide things down here at the bottom of each one where it has to slide in and click in. And then these click in, which keeps it from, you know, in here it's not hard because there's nothing blocking it on this side. But on this, you have this blocking it. So it's kind of a butt to get these back in. We took all these metal clips off, all the plastic clips off. The metal ones are a pain in the ass. This one's missing because he was missing it from stock. So let me tell you, taking these things off of this one and not breaking them, not easy. So here's the stock piece completely stripped down. And we've got everything relocated over to this one. So this is the DMX1037XR monitor with receiver. This is the Exelon unit. So we're gonna go ahead and show you all the features and kind of do a review on this. So we're gonna kind of show you what all is behind the radio, how it all mounts, how everything looks, kind of go through basic features and what we think of the radio in the very end of a review. This is the front of the unit, and basically on here has some pieces that go in to this little hole right here. A little door. Same way on this side. And then you've also got an SD card, I'm believing probably for maps or navigation. This is where the ribbon cable part snaps in, then you screw this part in. But this is the front of the unit. Most people don't show what this looks like without the screen on it. I just want everybody to understand that you have to mount this. So just remember that when you're going to put this into a vehicle, especially if you have something where the dash snaps on and then you have to put this on afterwards. That makes it 10 times more difficult because then you got to get these screws down in here. And here's the back of the screen with your ribbon cable here and your locking mechanism and screw mechanism back there. That's the back of the screen. Here's all the parts that you'll need. You have your Bluetooth mic it comes with. Guessing this is a USB extension. Yep. You have your main power cord, navigation antenna, and then all your bolts and hardware it comes with. So those are all the parts that basically come with this radio as well. All right, we got the double DIN mounted into here. You got to screw these 4 screws in, basically on each side. Boom, boom. Put your orange clips in, put your side screws in to the chassis. This is gonna be fun putting this huge 10-something inch radio in here. I can tell you that. This is gonna be a blast. And this piece right here, you can take this off with these 4 little micro screwdrivers. We used a micro screwdriver. Why things having such a hard time focusing. And then I use an adjustable wrench. And we just adjusted this, and that moves this piece up and down. So we've got the proper adjustment, and then these 2 screws on each side here, there's 2, you take those out, and that moves this retractor up and down to get you. So that's exactly where I want it. I'm gonna put this plastic cover back on, put everything on here because we're ready to mount this to the actual radio itself. So if you do need to extend this bottom piece out, which is what we've done, okay? What you'll wanna first start with is taking out these 4 screws. And there's the green line where it was from stock. So that's how far your adjustment goes out, is almost 1 inch, okay? You wanna take these out, and then that way you're gonna take out the stock ones, which are right here. These are the stock pieces here, okay? And they bolt in here and they bolt in there. When you take those out, that will allow you to pull this forward, which is what we've done. Then they give you extended brackets with new bolts to basically make this go out, because the other bracket would go to right here. So that way you can extend this out, because what was happening was when I was hitting the dash kit, it wasn't even hitting the ribbon cable because it was hitting the top of the dash kit right here. So I have to extend this out a little bit. So that's as easy as it is. It's very hard to understand from the instructions. You use these extra brackets they give you, that way it extends out. And then once you get it where you want it and you have to put the other bracket in this side, you're gonna put these 4 screws in. and then that tightens it down to where you want it. And then instead of using these panels here, you'll use these extended panels here because it's stuck out further now. That's pretty much it.
Okay, so since we're wiring up this Kenwood, I'm not using any of the speaker leads, so they're over here. The only thing I'm really wiring up is ignition, constant, and ground, and then parking brake I grounded. Those are the only 3 wires I need off this main harness besides the steering wheel wire, but I've extended all those wires here so that they have plenty of length, because this part here goes on the top and then this part here goes on the bottom. So I wanted to make sure I had plenty of slack where I didn't run into issues. There's a red wire coming off of here. This has got to go into the hazard switch, which plugs into this piece right here on the back of the dash. Got to make sure you do that. This part right here plugs into the back of the dash right over there. And then this part here that comes off is rear view camera, and I'm not sure what this is. None of this stuff is labeled through Scosche. Like, that's the only thing that kind of sucks. Scosche is not very good at labeling things, so I have no idea what these go to, so I'm not going to use them anyways. I test taped all this, zip tied all this up to make it as nice as possible. Basically all I did was extend everything from here all the way around to here, so that way we have plenty of slack, because this is going to go on top, this is going to go on bottom. So that's pretty much how this goes. But the one thing we're using is rear view camera. This has got to wire up obviously to the front part. This part plugs in, and then this part's going to plug into our radio. So that's all we're using, because we're a little different. If not, you're going to have to wire up speaker leads and stuff like that. This piece here, they don't tell you what the hell this blue wire is supposed to go to, and on some Infinities I've wired up the blue wire to the power antenna and it screwed up the car. So I don't want to wire it up and it not work, so I'm going to try it and see if it works. If it doesn't, I'll wire this up to power antenna and see if that works, but who knows. I mean, this could be a 40 EU10 and they just have this stupid thing in here for some weird reason, because some of them have shark fins or powered antennas. We'll see. Okay, so I have this Kenwood harness down here. I don't know what this bracket thing is for. It came with it and it looks like it bolts in like this. There's no instructions on what it goes to, but it looks like it bolts in. Like if you look, it matches up with all these bolts. So I'm guessing that's what this thing snaps into when you snap it in, because we took out the factory piece. So it doesn't tell you that anywhere in the instructions. So that's where I think it goes. I pulled this piece up to here. I need to bolt that in, by the way. This piece plugs into the back of the dash. This piece obviously plugs into this main harness over here. Same way with the antenna adapters. So I'm gonna start plugging all this stuff in, but basically you have to route everything up through the back. That way you don't have any problems when you're trying to put the double DIN in here as well. Okay, at this point we have our main harness here. We have our, this is our mic. And then over here we have our antenna, which we're going to test and make sure before for this blue wire. We have our USB, because this thing only has a single USB on the rear. We have this wire that's going to plug into the front dash. This is also going to plug into the front dash piece. Both of these are going to plug into here. And then this piece we've already went ahead and plugged in. We did plug the antenna into the correct, I'm guessing, because they're color coded, and this usually is the color of the antenna. So we've got this piece bolted in, so we're ready to start plugging stuff in and making sure it works. We'll see how it goes.